Welcome to the Trail Chasers Podcast.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. If you want to increase the performance of your rig both on and off the road, go to nexentireusa.com and get a set of Rodian MTXs. And the show's brought to you by Icon Vehicle Dynamics. You can't imagine what your vehicle is really capable of until you get Icon equipped. If you want to get the full potential out of your rig, go to iconvehicledynamics.com.
Today on the show, we talk with Travis with Outer Limit Supply. He tells us about their top-notch, high-quality first aid kits they offer. We also get caught up on listener voicemails. Lastly, I think Cody's thinking about starting the Trail Ranger podcast or some garbage like that for the other three dudes wheeling Rangers right now.
We also get knuckle deep in joint lubrication.
Dude, all three of us are super cool.
It's time for the Trail Chasers Podcast. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Trail Chaser, get out there and chase your adventure. Trail Chaser, our time is now.
Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure.
Hey everybody, we have Travis Hurley on the line. He's on the video chat here in the studio from Littleton, Colorado area, and he's from Outer Limit Supply. You can find them at outerlimitsupply.com or on their Instagram at outer_limit_supply. And you guys are a first aid kit and supplier, right?
Yeah, life-saving gear. I mean, we do a bit of everything, but our primary is first aid kits.
Okay. And are they primarily like personal first aid kits? What do they call those? The IFAKs?
IFAKs.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a handful of them. My favorite is the IFAK because it can pretty much be with you at all times. But you know, it's one of those things where we really try and match up. Obviously, we got started in the off-road community. And we really try and match the person up with what exactly they're doing, more than anything. So if they're a trail leader and they're going out with big groups of folks, an IFAK, it'll be effective, but it may not be the best kit. So if you've got a group of 10.
So Matt needs a full ambulance following him everywhere he goes, is what I'm hearing.
He needs a doctor. We need to get someone on a doctor on the trail.
On-staff nurse.
Right. Yeah. Helicopter hovering above.
Oh, perfect.
At all times. So,
right.
So let's talk about that a little bit. You mentioned you guys got into off-roading. So let's do some background about who you are, where you're at, and what got you to this point in the off-road community.
Sure. Well, as we were chatting earlier, my trade basically is I'm a firefighter paramedic. I've been in EMS pretty much my entire adult life. So, started way back when as a cadet with Ventura County Fire Department.
Okay.
Moved to San Diego, did some Forest Service work. Also municipality down there. And then in 2000, I got hired here in Colorado and basically relocated everything. It was talk about a change of pace.
Oh, yeah.
From surfing every day to,
to not surfing ever.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God there's direct flights to the ocean. So, so I went through EMT school when I was actually 17. So I was still in high school. I got the instructor to sign a waiver, or my parents actually signed the waiver. And the only reason they let me in is because when the class finished, I would have turned 18 a month before the class finished.
Okay.
So did the EMT, and then in 2001, I went through paramedic school, and that's where I'm at right now. And technically, my real position is engineer, so I drive the fire engines and ladder trucks.
Ooh,
but I'm still certified paramedic.
Yeah, let's. I don't want to talk about saving people's lives.
I don't care about anything else
at all. So let's talk about
just buy a first aid kit, you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Get some Band-Aids, rub some dirt on it, you'll be fine. Let's talk about the fire engine truck. So, what kind of engine are you guys running in that station?
So the station I'm at right now is just your standard pumper, if you will.
That's what they call me. Yeah.
So it doesn't have the ladder on top.
Oh, no ladder. Okay.
Yep. So it's not the cool one, if you will. But my engine's a little unique in the sense out here they have a concept called the squads. So even though it's a fire engine that's nationwide, generally, I guess, predominantly used for running medical calls and obviously fighting fires. But our particular engine has a full complement of extrication equipment too.
Oh.
So if we do roll up on something that's, car on its side where somebody's pinned, we can at least get started until the ladder truck gets there.
And is that because of the area that you serve? Are you in like a more rural area of Colorado?
No, really, it was just a way to kind of disperse equipment. Every fire department out there is spread thin, so ours included. So it was just a way to get the ball rolling. They have a saying, "Time is tissue."
Yeah.
And the longer it takes to get them to appropriate care, the worse it potentially could be.
So any fire engine companies out there listening, if you need someone to drive the truck or use the extraction tools, I got 3 guys right here that are all about that.
I have my own Sawzall and bandsaw.
I can demo like you can't even believe how well I demo stuff.
We're certified.
Yeah, certified.
Yeah.
We can help.
Certified-ish.
Well, you'll be surprised. The Sawzall is one of our first go-tos.
Absolutely, as it should be. As it absolutely should be. It is mine too, even when I'm just trying to like fix a door handle. So you said 2000 is when you moved out to Colorado?
That's correct. Yeah, August of 2000.
And were you into off-roading when you moved out to Colorado?
Off-roading has always kind of been a thing in our family.
Okay.
I should have kind of backed up. My first 10 years was in Northern California. So, between fishing and off-roading, that's really all that was up to do up there.
Got it.
But my true passion is motocross.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So off-roading came about when my daughter was born, and we just, couldn't really strap her to the dirt bike. So
you can, but it's just frowned upon. You get some really tough looks.
Yep. So
yeah, who needs that extra weight on your bike, So
what about back? Like we used to ride with a guy that would put literally 18 to 20
on
beers
his
on his back in a backpack. That's probably less weight than your daughter, right?
If it's your daughter, I think it's called a papoose. Technically,
don't you want that weight for the traction?
Yeah, no, he would. It was amazing watching him go into a turn, and he would rotate his torso to get the weight of the
yeah, you gotta have that shift around.
Yeah. It was awesome to watch. So how old's your daughter?
She is now 10.
Wow,
yeah, going on 11.
Wow.
So yeah, it was 10 years ago, and new parents trying to figure things out. And, my wife and I we really took the approach that, hey, we brought her into this world. She's got to adapt to our lifestyle.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%.
So from 6 months old, she's been bouncing around in the back of the Land Cruiser.
Nice.
And about 18 months after that, my son was born. So,
oh, wow.
That's how we got started. And with that, like anything, if I'm going to get into something, I pretty much jump in with both feet. And ultimately, there's an event out here called Cruise Moab. It's actually in Moab, but
so you have a Land
local
Cruiser.
club. What's that?
So you have a Land Cruiser.
I do.
What year?
Well, I've got a couple Toyotas, but yeah, that's the Cadillac one. That's the family one.
What year is your Land Cruiser?
94.
Oh, it's like mine.
He has a 94. Yeah.
94, and it's been in the family since 95, actually. My dad bought it as a lease return.
Wow.
And waited forever to get one with all, the factory lockers. So it's tired, but it still works. I drive it every single day.
Yeah, so does Jose, and from the day we met Jose in his Land Cruiser, I've been jealous of the thing. I mean, I love that rig.
Mine's not triple locked, by the way.
That's okay. It's still super capable.
Well, yeah. The funny thing is like we've gone wheeling with groups of people, And Jose always takes the back end in his Land Cruiser, and we've talked about this before, because Jose's always like, yeah, whatever, I'll get there. And he never balks, just gets to everywhere we got to go. Jose ends up getting through in his Land Cruiser. So going back to the off-roading, so you had the Land Cruiser. Were you doing much of that off-roading here in Southern California before you moved to Colorado?
We were, nothing sanctioned at that time. I mean, it was just, well, back then, I mean, got 16-year-olds jumping the first gen Toyotas, doing whatever we could do to break them.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so we've always used the vehicles as a point of access, whether we be backpacking in the Sierras or I don't know. We were always in 4-wheel drive for some reason.
Okay,
and a lot of times it was just to see what it could do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's half of what we do. See if we can go get stuck, right? So then you moved to Colorado. The family's there. You're wheeling. At what point did Outer Limit Supply become a thought and in your mind to where I think I want to do this? And what was your intention behind it?
Kind of back to that Cruise Moab event. I volunteered on the committee. I think that was in 2012. And, anytime you join a committee, you're kind of like, I'll just tiptoe into this. And the easiest position at the time that I felt was to do tech inspection, because it's a sanctioned event. You've got to check the vehicles as they're going through. And so I'm out there. I've got my clipboard and the whole list of things to check. And two things distinctly stand out about that experience was, the two things were a fire extinguisher and a first aid kit.
Yep.
And people were coming through with literally like this glove box, like
with Band-Aids,
wallet size. I don't even know if there's Band-Aids in it, but the fact that it said first aid kit on it, it was like, all right, you're good.
Well, it's probably similar to what I do when we go up to Big Bear and you have to, quote, have chains. I've got chains in a bag. I don't know.
To show them?
Yes. So I can say, look, I've got chains, but I couldn't tell you what those chains are for or whether or not they...
Are they even for tires?
I don't even know.
I would just like to say any stickers I have from whatever, Corva or Syndicate Off-Road, I include those as part of my first aid kit as like Band-Aids or something.
Yeah, those vinyl decals.
You just wrap them on there. They work pretty good.
Yeah, totally. So, it was one of those things where, a couple vehicles go through and I'm like, man, there's just... doing the job that I do, and we're in the city, so we're not really seeing off-road accidents per se, but we are seeing, I don't want to say that I've seen everything, but I feel like I've probably got a taste of dang near everything when it comes to the 911 system. And, from people putting their vehicles on cinder blocks and crushings to, oops, it slipped out of gear and now I'm pinned between two cars or whatever the case may be. I just knew, my background, and I was like, man, there's so much false hope in these like wallet-sized boo-boo kits, if you will. So fast forward, there's 2 days of tech inspection, and now we're out on the trails, and I mean, there was people getting hurt left and right. Nothing major, but slip and falls. People trying to film vehicles walking backwards, and I would imagine you guys have all been to Moab. I mean, there's no firm footing anywhere.
I have
not.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, no need to brag there.
I have.
Well,
I've heard of it.
You guys were at the Hammer, so that's Moab on steroids, really.
True.
That is true.
It is Mad Max out there.
It was beyond Thunderdome and then some. I saw the neighborhood next door to Thunderdome. And it's even crazier.
Right. So, it was on the way home from that it was kind of like, all right, what can I bring to the committee for next year? And long story short, I was like, well, tech inspection, that really was pretty easy. I don't know that they got the value out of me, if you will, So joined the committee again and said, hey, what do you think about, from the committee, we put together a handful of first aid kits, like real ones with
like a standardized one.
Yeah, well, not even standard, just something that had something in it that, that could make a difference. And so that's what I did. I literally, ordered all these supplies from just whoever I could find that would give me a good deal. And God, I spent months doing that. I was literally counting out Band-Aids and gauze rolls, and I had the kits all embroidered. I have one somewhere around here, and I don't know where it's at right now. But so the 2013, I took it to Cruise Moab, and I'm literally trying to unpack the box and put them on the shelves, and people are grabbing them. Like, I never got a full compliment on the shelf.
Really?
They grabbed them and bought them, and back then they were like, I don't know, they were maybe $100 or something like that. But it was literally on that way back from Cruise Moab 2013 that it was like, all right, there's something more to this. I think people want this. Inherently people want to help, especially in the sport that we're in. Whether it's a breakdown or you name it. I mean, no matter what trail you go on, there's generally somebody that's got an issue, and it's very rare for that person to be by themselves, whether they started out by themselves or finished.
Well,
so.
we were just talking about we need to prepare ourselves with kits because Cody just bought a Ford, and we know that he's probably going to be breaking down. Life's going to be a lot more dangerous for him.
But that doesn't mean my body is going to be...
No, it does, actually, as a matter of fact.
It's been scientifically proven.
Exactly.
Your percentages are going up.
Exactly. So, we care about him and stuff, so... So apparently... I don't know why, what possessed him to go buy a Ford.
And you didn't even go down the path of the fire extinguisher. That would have been way easier to rag on me about having a fire extinguisher.
I was saving that.
Well, there's not enough fire extinguishers out there to put that fire out.
You need one specifically for dumpsters. Dumpster fire.
Yeah,
that's right.
Your Ford Ranger.
All right, screw you guys. Foxtrot uniforms. So back to Cruise Moab. You get all these on the shelf. They're flying off the shelf, and you drive home thinking there's something here. What was at that point, was it called Outer Limit Supply at that point, or was it even a company at that point?
No, it was nothing. I literally had all the bags embroidered with Cruise Moab on it.
Oh, okay.
Compliments a Rising Sun 4x4 club, or something to that effect. And, it's 4 hours. Well, technically it's probably more like 6 hours. And actually I would even say with kids, it's 8 hours to Moab. But at any rate, on the way back, we were kind of just spitballing this thing and kind of making it kind of come to be. But, I got home and, a week later you're unpacking the vehicle. And of course I kept one of those kits for my personal use. And I opened it up just to see how it did. And, it had been bouncing around the back of the Land Cruiser. The kids had been all over it. Stuff had been thrown on it. And although we never even opened the kit for an emergency or anything like that, there's literally red dirt that had penetrated all the zippers. Never even opened it. So that's kind of really in a nutshell how the waterproof stuff came around, to keep it from being crushed and keep it as sanitary as possible. So then began the search of let's find a case to put these in. And honestly, I had no idea what I was in for. I really didn't.
I was just going to ask, as that process started, we were like, I'll find a kit and throw some stuff in it. And now you're 7 years later going, man, what did I do?
Right. I mean, it goes back when we finally discovered the cases and decided on which ones we were going to use. I had this brilliant idea, and I think there's 15 of them out there, but I was going to thermal form the lids to house the medication. And I built this whole jig, and I literally was vacuum sealing and thermal forming in the kitchen. My wife loved it. The whole house smelled like plastic.
I was going to say, I bet that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And after about 12 of them, I was like, there's no way. I can't do this. So they're actually pretty cool, but it was not producible or mass producible, I should say. So, yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a fun journey. Met so many cool people along the way. It was a hobby for for a handful of years until, gosh, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. We did our very first true show that we did was Overland Expo, and went there with no expectations. I had a lot of inventory and just was like, hey, I'm just putting it all in line. And that show was incredibly validating. We were well received. And from that point forward was, okay, this is legitimate now. This is no longer a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Well, and so, prior to having the interaction with you about coming on the show, Outer Limit Supply has been part of the conversation in the community for a long time. We, following you on social media stuff, but, I would think from the outside looking in, and we've, recently we've had a lot of conversation about safety because of recent events and everything. But from the outside looking in, we take for granted our safety on the trail a lot of times. And, people like you that are providing the products and the reminder that, hey, these things could go wrong is beyond, above and beyond the product. It's a service to us dumbasses here thinking, okay, I got electrical tape, you got some duct tape, we should be good, right? I mean, that's...
I got Coors Light. My blood's gonna be flowing good.
Yep.
We'll be all right.
right. You got your built-in ice packs.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, as long as the mountains are cold.
Exactly.
Or
They're blue.
right?
As long as the
That's
mountains are blue.
Yeah, when the mountains are blue, they're ready for an ice pack.
And since you're in Colorado, is that a thing? Do the mountains turn blue when it's cold? just to verify, it is a Coors Colorado thing.
Right. It's no, they turn
Can
white.
you go outside and take a picture?
It's been nothing. That's all we've been dealing with lately. It's been snowstorm after snowstorm.
Oh,
It's,
wow.
Yeah, that's why I don't live in Colorado.
Trust me, I'm about ready to get on that plane to go to a beach.
Coincidentally, is your wife from Colorado, or is she from Southern California as well?
No, she's a native to Colorado. So
Okay.
I met her after I moved out here.
Okay. So is she good with the winter and the storms, and you're like, I got to get out of here?
That's all she really knows. That's I've exposed her to the beach life, so she's pretty into that now. But Colorado is, you're a product of your environment, and that's just, it's going to be snowy and there's mud season and it's going to be cold and
There's a
then
mud
we're going
season?
to have an awesome summer.
What do you think happens?
Is
when
it so
snow
mud
melts?
season? That's after the snow melts?
We don't technically have a true mud season like some states do, but that time period, I would say September is the most beautiful month out here, but November, just right after that, can be so bitterly cold. I mean, it's frigid.
Mud season's probably like when all those Coors Light drinkers like sober up and they're like, I can't believe I've been drinking this for whatever. And they just start pouring it out. And so it's
Running down the streets.
It's mud season.
Yeah, so our, I guess, quote unquote, mud season would probably be the last part of April, first part of May. But man, since I moved here, gosh, the end of May, we've gotten storms that have dumped 2 feet of snow.
Damn.
So,
Oof.
I mean, it can come out of the blue, and most of the time it melts off pretty quick. But, that November time is tough out here. It's just cold and there's no snow and windy.
Oh.
None of that sounds good to me at all. I'm good. I don't need to move to Colorado. That's for sure. So going back to the business, so you've got that validation Overland Expo. Are you going to Overland Expo again this year?
We're committed to doing. Well, they're coming to Colorado this year. So,
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're definitely committed to that one. Unknown at this point if we're actually going to make the West show.
Okay.
We've got a lot of irons in the fire. So, somewhat spread a little thin, and this might be the first year where I'm not using dang near all of my vacation time to support the business. So, so it's kind of cool. At this point, it's an unknown.
Okay.
50-50 chance.
All right. So after Overland Expo and you get that validation, what was the next phase of Outer Limit? Was it like ramping up with production? Was it new products? Was it, new kits or whatever, building the website? When you came home with that validation, what was the next phase?
Well, certainly we had a lot of feedback at that show too. and never having really truly put ourselves out there up until that point, we really just didn't know what we were going to do, or how we were going to go about it. And one of the things that we took away from that show was, not one of our main kits going into that show was that big 6500 that we set up for trail leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the original design of that kit. And, now we're at Expo and there's couples coming through, or, the single guy that has a Jeep and just wants to get lost and doesn't necessarily need a giant kit. So
Yeah.
the takeaway from that show was to somewhat diversify in a sense,
Okay.
and try and double down as much as we could and cater to as many people as possible. So
Yeah, and looking at your website, I mean, you've got the waterproof kits, you've got first aid kits, you've got an overland bound 3-in-1 kit, different supply packs and accessories, and it looks to me like there's, like you just said, a little bit something for everybody. If you're just looking for the sling or the big kit, or
But going along with what he just said, like the very first thing that pops up when you go to the website, it's like, what kind of kit? Like let's see what kind of kit you're gonna need. Like it like guides you on like which one you're gonna want to buy.
that's a great idea. How did you?
You're making it like foolproof.
Well, I guarantee the three of us. I guarantee the three of us could mess it up somehow. But so go through that process. Like how do you help identify what kind of kit someone needs?
a lot of it is based on group size. I'll be real honest with it. And then, it's kind of somewhat easy with, do you need it waterproof, or can you get away with, like a sling or dare I say fanny pack?
Oh,
fanny packs are fanny packs.
are
Cody
cool. I
loves
love
fanny.
fanny
Look what you
pack.
did.
Do you have a
Look
fanny
what you-
pack kit? Because I will take a fanny
God.
pack kit and just wear the fanny pack when I'm walking around town, because I think
Thanks, man.
fanny packs
Thanks
are cool.
for bringing this.
It's so funny you say that, because I'm I'm in my 40s, and I lived through the fanny pack
Yes,
days, and
they were the best thing in the world, man.
Right.
You're going to go out skateboarding for the day. You're
You're
going to go out skateboarding for the day. You don't want all your change.
Where did you go skateboarding with a
You
fan?
got your OP shorts on.
Yes. So it was Jimmy Z. It was Jimmy's Velcro shorts with my Converse
were they
Chuck
corduroy?
Taylors. No, they were, I think, turquoise. And then my Chuck Taylor Converse and like a Powell Peralta shirt.
Right now, you just mentioned Chuck Taylor's, and Converse just cringed like, "Oh, this guy's talking about."
and then one
with
of
his
those-
fanny pack wearing our shoes.
One of those small brim skull caps with flames on it, and then you take your fanny pack and put all your change and stuff, because you were going to go to the arcade later, and you put your change in the fanny pack and then put it behind you, and you could skate for hours.
How old were you when you first got your girlfriend? Your first girlfriend?
well, let's face it, we were all searching for Animal Chin.
Yes,
That's right.
yes. This is officially the best episode of the entire show.
Yes.
People were shutting down. We're shutting the show
That's
down.
it. Mic drop.
So
Yes.
I used to skate to the pipeline from my house.
Yes.
So that's
Oh,
where
nice.
That's where
Pipeline,
we-
yes. I was a member of CASTLE, California Amateur Skateboard League.
Oh, I wasn't
At
a member of none of that
Pipeline.
stuff. I didn't have any fanny packs, so they probably wouldn't let me in.
We should all get skateboards and go skateboarding.
Sounds like a great idea.
My kids got skateboards. It seems like
How many first aid do you have? How many kits do you have on deck right now?
That's the next kit on Outer Limits Supply, the 40-year-old skater kit.
it's called the poser kit.
No, it's a 40-year-old skater kit. It comes with a splint and morphine. That's all it's got in there.
Dude, let's
flop.
drain my pool
Yeah.
and to start skateboarding again.
It does hurt a little bit more, I got to be honest.
Oh, dude,
Sounds horrible.
I cannot even imagine. So sorry, you said fanny pack, and I kind of went off on a tangent there. I don't know why. So the kits themselves, though, like looking at I'm also a backpack aficionado, and looking at the kits, like those are some serious. What, dude? What?
You can only wear one at a time.
what else?
No, Jose, you cannot.
Those
you could
are-
wear the backpack and the fanny pack if you needed to.
I just gotta bite my lip. It's so hard to not say stuff, man.
So
Trying to be appropriate.
No. So in the kits, the sling, you've got the a waist bag fanny pack. You've got the backpacks. Like, how long did it take you to find and source those kits, those bags, to meet the needs of the kit you were trying to build?
So all of the soft goods, if you will, they're relatively new.
Okay.
And they came about, I mean, the waterproof kits are awesome. But again, my background, I started thinking about this a little bit more, going, we've had the success with the waterproof kits. They're awesome and they hold up really well. But like you, I also backpack. And it kind of dawned on me in the middle
wait a
of the
minute,
night
real
going,
quick, just a point of
we need to
clarification.
clarify
Just a point of
something.
He doesn't
I like to
backpack.
wear backpacks.
He does
I do not
backpack.
quote
Yeah.
backpack.
If you have a laptop in it and like granola bars and protein bars, and it's just for while you're walking around Disneyland with your kids
Yes.
and stuff, that's backpacking.
That's
to
how
him.
I do not. If there's hiking and like elevation change involved, I'm out.
You don't get a body like that by backpacking, right?
Yeah, that's a string cheese diet. And
let's
crackers.
just call it away from the vehicle-ness.
There you go. There you go.
And really it dawned on me this last season when we were hunting, we were in on foot, and of course you're not going to carry a waterproof case in there.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of one of those things going, you're only as good as the equipment that you have. And it's not necessarily that it needs to be, approved medical gear per se, but that could be just as good as what you're familiar with and you're improvising of what you have at your disposal.
Yep.
But that really kind of sparked me going, some of this stuff isn't really heavy. It can fit into, a backpack, a sling, or our waist bag there. And it's really one of those things where in a perfect world, I'd love for everybody to be prepared at all times, not just while they're behind the wheel or out on a trail. We spend a lot of time going to the TECC committees, whether we stream them or we're there in person.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
It stands for Tactical Emergency Casualty Care.
Okay.
And it's basically the civilian side of what's called TCCC, which is Tactical Emergency Casualty Care. Tactical Combat Casualty Care.
Got it.
So that's the military version, if you will. TECC is a civilian side. And the studies that they're doing and proving is it's not necessarily the professional rescuers like me when I'm on a fire engine that are making a difference. It's literally the person standing next to the one that got injured that truly makes a difference.
That immediate response in the interim of someone with training showing up. What happens in that immediate response, right?
Yep, exactly. So this committee, we kind of stumbled upon it, and it's been a huge guiding light for us, and really kind of directed how our kits have gone. We know that anybody can save a life, whether they have training or they don't. It simply comes down to the fact of whether or not they want to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, it's perfectly acceptable to say, I don't want to be involved, But
No. Don't give them the out.
That's exactly what
Do
I'm
not
gonna
give them the out.
That's exactly what I'm gonna
bull
say.
crap right
Noted.
there.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah.
I do not want to be involved.
Yeah,
I don't even
I'm
know
gonna be
this guy.
laying on the ground, bleeding out, and they're going to be like, "Remember that? Remember episode 113 when Travis said
Yes.
I didn't have to get involved?"
I don't even know your name, sir.
That's some
And
way.
honestly, do you want me to get involved?
Somebody do something.
What if I went and found somebody who wanted to get involved? That's
Jackass.
pretty good.
we've done a great job of training this country of ours to dial those 3 magic numbers.
Yeah.
So if that's all you do, that's cool.
3 7.
411.
Right.
You'll be all right,
You
dude.
guys suck. So the kits themselves, I'm kind of, as you're talking, I'm looking at some of them on the website, and then for those of you that want to look at these, it's outerlimitsupply.com, and there's both the waterproof kits, the first aid kits, and all that stuff. It looks like, so as an example, the individual first aid kit backpack, there's some options there. Like you can go in and pick different color bags and different. How customizable is this, and what kind of information? Looking at the list of things that's in here, there's a lot of stuff in that bag. Tell me about that one specifically.
Sure. Well, and that's kind of call it the base, if you will, for all the kits. It's personally my favorite kit because I think it's the most versatile kit, meaning it can go into quite a few different, whether that's the backpack, the sling, or into a waterproof case.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of pick your poison in whatever it is you need. But that kit, and literally as of February 1st, every Outer Limits Supply kit out there will contain, we've always included tourniquets as standard equipment. But what we've made across the board with any kit now is you're going to get your chest seals, you're going to get a pressure dressing, you're going to get wound packing, in addition to your tourniquet. So, of course, some of the feedback we get on a regular basis is, sticker shock with the kits. And, we get it. But we're confident in saying when you walk away with one of our kits, you have everything you need, whether you're trained or not, to absolutely definitively, it's been proven to save a life.
Yeah, and we've talked about it recently where, you look at a first aid kit and the $200 to $300 it's going to cost, and you're like, do I really need to spend
but
that?
It's really cheap insurance.
Yeah, that one time somebody's bleeding and you don't have the right tools,
And your Hanger 24 stickers are not stopping the blood flowing. You're going to be thankful.
and then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get that DeWalt Sawzall and go, sorry, Matt, it's time to take it off.
Wow.
Just cut the arm right off.
Make use of that tourniquet.
Yep.
Well, I'll be honest. It's when it comes to first aid kits, it's truly a buyer beware. I wouldn't necessarily look at the price tag and go, all right, and put my hope in that, because there's a lot of companies out there that the equipment that I just mentioned is optional, and so they'll bait people with $100 kit and with this false sense of security. But if you want a tourniquet, then that's an extra $30, and if you want chest seals, we didn't want to do that. It was just like, here it is.
Well, and so I personally, I feel comfortable. I mean, I'm sure I could go on Amazon and you can punch me in the nose if I'm saying this, but like, I'm sure I can go on Amazon and find a kit that's cheaper. But
absolutely.
I am also confident that person that built that kit on Amazon is probably not a member of the off-road community, hasn't been out on the trail, hasn't had the training and experience that you have to be able to say, yeah, you can buy that kit, but here's what you're going to run up against. And I know that because of experience.
Yep. And because of that, we are on Amazon now.
Yeah.
To make it even easier. So, it's, you kind of have to be on Amazon these days, right?
Yeah. That's how everybody goes to search. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense, because myself, I don't have a problem paying more money knowing that I'm getting a quality product. Exactly. And I'm a layman, I don't know specifically, like you just said, you're going to pay some money, and next thing you know, oh man, go into my bag, I have a tourniquet. Dude, there's no tourniquet in here. What do you mean there's no tourniquet? I just paid, whatever I paid for that kit. You just assume that it's going to come with things like that.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point.
No, but his day job is utilizing this on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
Between the day job and his experience, and then also being part of an off-road community and going to use it.
Stop fighting with me, Jose. We're in agreement.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were just creating content.
No. Next segment.
Well, kind of. So back to the IFAC there a little bit. The whole concept with Outer Limits Supply was just what you guys hit on. I've been doing this my entire adult life, and we step off a fire engine, we're carrying in excess of $30,000 of equipment if you throw the cardiac monitor in there.
I'm gonna get one of I still want a defibrillator, just like, because I guarantee if you guys hit the ground, I'm defibbing the hell out of you.
right.
Hook it up to the car battery. Let's get more power.
He's just drunk.
Right. I'm sure you could figure something out with the ready welder, right?
There you go.
But it was really kind of like, all right, what do I use day in and day out when I show up and put on my fireman hat, and do that thing. So, of course there's standards that need to be in first aid kits. Whether you agree with them or you don't, there is standards to them. So, my whole take with that was, all right, we'll leave what we absolutely have to call it a class 1 or a class 2 first aid kit. But the add-ons that I'm going to put in there is stuff that I used on a daily basis. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's what we've been using. It's been proven to work. So that's kind of the nutshell. But let me be clear too on this. It's not so much whether you have the exact equipment or, there's been a lot of buzz about tourniquets, and tourniquets are great, but they're not the end all be all. And let me be the first to say, and maybe on this show or whatnot, but if someone is severely bleeding in front of you, I don't care if you use the dirty rag that you just checked your oil in.
Yeah.
Stuff it in that hole and stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Infections, modern medicine has been a wonderful thing. We can deal with infections later. They take weeks to show up, but you've got 3 to 5 minutes before somebody's unconscious and possibly already deceased.
Yeah, it's easier to deal with the infection if the blood is still in the body. If the blood is out of the body, infection doesn't matter at that point.
Even if you just start the Coors Light, just start throwing the Coors Lights down.
No. Crush the cans and jam them in there.
Hey, I was going to mention on the website, because I actually did some research today.
Did you?
On my phone. I went
so
to the website.
Proud of you.
Yeah. And but I wanted to say, what is this leg that it's like?
Saw that.
Oh my God! You got
That's a bear.
well,
attack.
now I'm on the computer and I can see a bear bit this guy and attacked him. But I was on my phone earlier and I thought, oh my God, there should be a warning.
It's on the Instagram page, and it looks like somebody is trying to walk on hamburger meat.
It's pretty rough right there.
Well,
I was going to ask.
Be careful with that one, because myself went down a rabbit hole with that too and searched bear attacks with the hashtag.
No.
There's a lot worse out there, trust me.
What was that hashtag bear attack?
That was actually a repost from another supply company.
Oh, I see.
That does a great job. And they I don't have all the details, but it sounds like somebody walked up on a mama bear with some cubs, and things did not go well.
Wow.
But they ultimately used their sock.
Is that what that is? Because because of all the meat and there's some hair in there. I assume that he was just a hairy guy. Right. Raw meat and a sock. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
And we
There's a
posted
joke somewhere
that
in there.
kind of specifically in the sense of kind of what we're saying. Everybody says tourniquet, tourniquet, tourniquet. It's not always indicated and needed. I mean, in that particular case, they were able to create a pressure dressing out of a sock.
Yeah.
And
it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
Totally worked.
Zip ties. I'm just gonna get, if Matt cuts his finger, I'm gonna put zip ties at the base and just start cinching him down.
You know what? That just means you get zip tied to your chair at camp later by the campfire. That's all that means.
Well, and I know we've joked about this, but Matt and I have talked a lot about electrical tape and using electrical tape to stop bleeding because I've done it 100 times. It's literally, like you said, whatever you've got available, make it work. I mean, it's definitely better to have the right equipment, but it's better, do what use what you have so no one dies.
Right. Well, the right equipment, the difference between having the right equipment and not having the right equipment, it really comes down to how much cushion you're going to, or how much time you're going to buy yourself. And what I mean by that is, kind of back to the tourniquets. It's well known that the modern windlass tourniquets that we have today, I mean, they can be applied up to 6 hours without causing permanent nerve damage.
Wow.
Wow.
Where if you try and, improvise like a ratchet strap or some type of, the old, stick and swath technique where, you turn the stick. Mm-hmm. Generally what happens is it creates such a pressure point on those nerves and it damages the sheathing on the nerves, and that's what leads to the amputation.
Yeah.
If you have nerve damage, you can no longer control that limb, and now it's kind of in the way. It's a problem now, and that's why they amputate.
Yeah.
So, but hey, man, if that's all you've got, I wouldn't try using your belt. You're never going to get it tight enough. But
not my belt.
Well, they do it in the movies.
My belt's way too big to get tied around anything. But going back to that, you're absolutely right. Use whatever you got and improvise, in the situation. But having the conversation with you today, there's no reason not to have a kit. And we had this conversation a couple weeks ago. I've got like 3 different bags right now that are quote unquote first aids. I don't know. Right. I probably should go through all 3 of them and make a single one, but I guarantee it's not as complete as what you've put together because it's a hodgepodge of leftovers from this kid and that kid. And I got this when my daughter was born and, those kinds of things. So, I think with companies like Outer Limit Supply, there's no reason not to have the equipment that you need out on the trail.
That's what we'd like to think. And that's kind of our goal, and, but also thinking a little bit more forward thinking with that is, well, what happens when you use all of the stuff or even a portion of it? And initially back in the day, we had this grand plan that we would be able to replace item for item and, keep people's kits stocked. And ultimately what we found out was, if somebody is rolled up on something that's been pretty traumatic, usually they're pretty unnerved. And the question we usually get via email or a phone call is, I used a bunch of stuff, but I have no idea what I used. And, so it was really one of those things where it was like, well, what do I replace? I don't know.
Yeah.
So we kind of took on the concept of, we're not going to do one for one, but if you've used a lot of, first and foremost, if you've used it to save a life, we're just going to send you a new kit, period. No questions asked.
Wow.
But if it's one of those things where you've been in and out of it throughout the season, you've handed out all the, hundreds of Band-Aids to the kids and, on their ages. That's where the supply packs come into play.
Okay.
Where it truly is a complete, and in your case, Cody, the supply packs are 100% complete kits. They just aren't packaged inside something that says Outer Limit Supply.
Got it. Got it.
So you can use it to refill an existing kit, or in your case, if you're going to consolidate those 3 kits and you're just not sure, and things change. I mean, we weren't using tourniquets 15 years ago. It was a big no-no.
Well, I like the idea. Like if you have like you said, you've had your Outer Limit Supply pack for a year or 2, and you've been using it through the seasons, and you're like, man, I don't know. The bag is in great shape. I'm just going to buy a refill kit, and then put it all back in the bag. And now you're back to square one where you feel like you've got all the stuff that you need.
Exactly.
That's a good idea.
And, whatever's left of the existing kit, we recommend that you break it down into smaller kits. And, props to you, Cody, that you have more than one kit, right? So, the thing is Murphy shows up out there all the time, right?
Absolutely.
And as you guys saw in the hammers, I mean, nobody expected to roll the vehicle. And, certainly we don't up on our high alpine passes, but if you roll, I mean, there's a chance that you may be pinned inside that vehicle and not be able to get out. So having something smaller in your glove box that's within arm's reach is not a bad idea either. So, just kind of having, it's not necessarily a more is better, but what do you have access to?
Yeah. Having options.
I just keep coming back. It's like, it's cheap insurance. Like you spend the whatever it costs for the kit, whatever kit you end up buying. Even if you buy it once a year, it's still cheap insurance just to have.
Right. Yeah. And if, we have a core group that we're, between the 3 of us and a handful of other guys we always wheel with, if all of us had some form of that kit, we'd all be, okay, we're covered to some extent, you know what I mean? So, no, I think what you're doing is great. Like I said, I love the idea that you took your, adult lifehood training and experience, applied it to your passion, and then found a need in the community, and now are providing a service to those of us out there that are not trained and more than likely going to hurt themselves within the next, 30 seconds, because it's going to happen. But no, this is really good stuff, and I like your interaction with the community, that you're out there. Your name comes up in a lot of conversations, and you seem to be not only not only passionate about off-roading like we talked about, but engaged in the community and having those conversations. And I think that's a big piece of, you'd mentioned earlier about getting feedback from Overland Expo West and taking the feedback and then applying that to your products on a regular basis.
We do the best we can, fortunately I have a department of 400 firefighters as a resource to pull from. Not all of them are into the things that we're into, but there's certainly a handful of them out there. And, we do a good job of jacking ourselves up. So we're our own test dummies, right? So, but it's been a fun ride. It really has been. And, there's been a lot of things that have come along in the last 20 years. I mean, YouTube University is, you can get all your knowledge that you want out there, and what, the great thing about YouTube is, that autoplay, right? So if you're searching something, it's going to lead to 5 more videos. You're going to be an expert by the time you're done.
Right? I'm going to take that to the fire engine for the fire station. Be like, I'm here for that job. No. But I've watched a lot of videos.
I spent 10 hours on YouTube. I know what I'm doing.
All day yesterday. I watched YouTube videos. Hire me.
Yep. Yeah. So, and a lot of kind of back to having to buy a new kit once a year. Most of our stuff does not have a shelf life or an expiration date to it. Our medications do. Chances are good that you're probably going to blow through them anyways, just because they are over-the-counter meds. Mm-hmm. But that's one thing we stripped out too. So if you've only used your meds, I mean, we have medication refill packs. Okay. So you don't have to spend another $300 or whatever the kit you have. You can just buy the medications for it too.
Cool.
So,
I pretty much drive around with ibuprofen, like in my glove compartment.
We're all
recently.
avid pill poppers.
I have switched from ibuprofen to the Excedrin and the acetaminophen because it seems to be doing more for my headaches. So, I constantly have a stash of that. Yeah.
Well, and actually, Cody, you kind of hit on something, and one of the reasons why we chose the medications that we chose is mainly because each one of those pain management, over-the-counter pain management pills, you can't just take nothing but acetaminophen for 24-hour period. You're going to fry your liver. So what we kind of do, and it's somewhat of a back country treatment plan, if you will.
I'm down.
But let's just, for all intents and purposes, you get hurt first thing in the morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and whatever, you sprain your ankle climbing out of the tent, or out of the rooftop tent, right?
I can see that.
Yeah.
Something like that. You're hungover, whatever the case may be. Right?
That's more our speed.
So
That's more our speed.
Now this is becoming, instead of a generalization, this is what happened to Matt.
You narrowed it down.
This is what Matt did last weekend.
So let's get back to the backwood cure.
Right. So you can jump on board with your ibuprofen 8 o'clock in the morning. And 2 hours later, think of a bell curve, if you will. 2 hours later, your ibuprofen should be going full force, but it's going to start wearing off, right? So that's where you can start preloading at 10 o'clock with your acetaminophen.
Oh.
And go ahead and take that. And, they all work on a 4-hour increment. So if you're basically taking those pain managements on a 2-hour basis and rotating each one of them through, you never really come down off of it.
Wow.
And
that's my problem. I come down.
Yeah, come down. Yeah. Well, I do the 6 in the morning, and I just never follow it up afterwards.
Yeah. Well, by 2 o'clock, I think that's right. 8, 10 at noon. So 2 o'clock, you're starting over again with ibuprofen, and you're not doing damage to your liver, basically.
Okay.
And you can kind of maintain. It's not going to take all your pain away. But, unless you're a doctor, you're not going to have narcotics with, well, maybe you will, but not prescription meds, right?
Yeah. That's when you start preloading on Bud Light.
Right.
That's the.
Yeah,
Then you're on your afternoon shift.
Yeah.
And then you can just go ahead.
By that time, you
Yep.
well, this has been a great conversation, man. I'm glad that we got the chance to connect and have some discussion about this stuff, because I think, like I said, this has been a hot topic for the last couple of weeks because of recent incidents, and we don't need to go back into that. But I think that having the conversations over the last 3-4 weeks has really, I think, solidified my position on having the right kit. And this weekend I was moving some stuff around from one truck to another, and I kind of took out the kits and I was looking at them going, okay, I need to do something with these and maybe take an inventory. And so I've got them to a point where I can do that. And maybe what I need to do is just, because they're probably all 10 years old. So I probably should just throw all that away and buy one of these kits.
Yeah, just start fresh.
Yeah, start fresh. But but seriously, it's unfortunate that events happen that make you think about it. But because of recent events, I've been thinking a lot more about safety and stuff like that. So
Sure.
I'm glad that there's guys like you and companies out here that can provide those services. We've had a long conversation about our buddy Joe Kay and some of the stuff that he's been doing, and he does regular trail safety segments with us. But having those conversations really makes you think about the things that you need to do to be prepared, and I appreciate you and the services you provide for the community to set that up.
Well, thank you. And it's the name first aid can be so intimidating for people, and generally what's associated when you say first aid is the first thought is, well, I don't have that training, right? It's not rocket science. It really isn't. Yeah, some of the advanced stuff does require, training in a professional sense, but for the most part, I can't emphasize it enough. When for the last 20 years, when we respond to a 911 call, there's a noticeable difference between those that actually do something, whether they think it's right or not, just their intentions, difference in the outcome, I should say, versus the folks that just, they've got their cell phones out and they're filming instead of calling, So, again, it's not rocket science. Anybody out there can make a huge, huge difference, especially remote, where, and a lot of considerations need to be considered when you're doing the things that we're doing. Helicopters don't fly in a lot of weather.
Yeah.
So, you may not get a search and rescue team. You may not get a helicopter. Depending on the injury, you might not have anybody come out, to be honest with you. Resources across the country are spread pretty thin. I hate to tell everybody that, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you've heard the terms triage and whatnot. It happens in the 911 call center.
Yeah.
I mean, they triage calls. So, of course we advocate that you get training, right? Everybody should have some of that, but at the bare minimum, just spend some time on YouTube.
Yeah, buy an Outer Limit supply kit and then watch 4 hours of YouTube. There you go. You're a paramedic.
Yeah,
right.
But I think they have to be first aid related videos. You can't just watch Metallica for 4 hours.
Oh yeah,
Cat
sorry.
videos?
That
No
part I
cat
missed.
videos?
Or cat videos.
Or TikTok. Yeah, you can't watch TikTok for that long.
Right. Now, I will say
What?
that, the advantage to the waterproof kits, though, is on the inside lid, it does list out the 5 proven steps to save a life and improve the airway. So, if you're really concerned about it, a waterproof kit might be up your alley, because the instructions are right there listed out 1 through 5.
I can see Jose. I can see Jose sitting there with the kit going, okay, Matt, step 1.
Don't move. Hold on.
Well, there's pictures too, so that helps.
Perfect.
So,
all right. Well, everybody, if you haven't already, you should be out following Outer Limit Supply. It's outer_limit_supply on Instagram, and you can see this awesome meat foot that he's got posted up here.
Meat foot.
They're playing at Coachella next year.
We found meat foot.
So you can check out Meatfoot on his Instagram page, and then you can find all of their products at outerlimitsupply.com. And Travis, before we end the segment, anything else you want to bring up or anything else you want to touch on that's coming up in the future?
Boy, we ran the gamut, really. No, I really just appreciate you guys, having me on the show and bringing awareness to this more than anything, because it's, it's one of those things where you don't think about it until you're in it.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of preparation can go a long way. And I would encourage everybody at some point just to kind of run through some scenarios. They don't have to be the full blown, gunshot victim or something like that. Just simple little things. Some of the injuries I've seen out on the trail, like I mentioned early on, was getting pinned between two vehicles, slip and falls, a lot of burns, especially with kids leaning down.
Yeah.
Touching exhaust pipes.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, you kind of know what kind of kid you have at that, and you should just you should let the kid go. Like if
So
he's
how
going
many
to
burns do you have?
a lot, I have a lot actually.
Exactly.
right. But just kind of, you don't want to live in a what if world per se, but just running through a couple of scenarios can really make the difference in clarity and peace of mind when you're actually faced with it. So, no, that's pretty much it, guys. I really appreciate it, and thanks for having us on the show, and thanks for everybody that supported us along the way.
No worries. Thank you, man. Thank you for being here, and we appreciate everything you're doing, and hopefully we get to catch up with you at one of the events sometime soon.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. You too.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
The Trail Chasers podcast is a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. If you want more off-road shenanigans in your ear holes, go to 4x4radionetwork.com to hear episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, the 4x4 podcast, the Center Steer podcast, and On the Trail with Kevin and Scott. Okay, so we're live on Instagram and Facebook. We're going to see if Facebook stays up because last week it kept crashing. So far, so good.
We're just talking about how we have all these voicemails that we haven't gone to.
Yes.
That we haven't even combed over.
I didn't even think to preview the voicemails. So
this could be either the funniest thing ever or the worst thing ever.
And the other thing is that the live audience can't hear the
how it
voicemails. The live audience can't hear the voicemails.
They're going to be... Well...
So
they're gonna be all confused.
I know, they're going to be confused. So here's what we're going to do, though.
That's our show.
We're going to go through the voicemails. I can't guarantee that all of them are going to be winners or that all of them will make it into the show.
How many are there?
If I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
We're gonna be here till tomorrow.
Okay, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 are from the same number. 5 are from the same number. I think we have a stalker. So
probably Al from
I was just gonna say they're all from New Jersey. So let's see. This is what we'll do. We'll play them one at a time. See what happens, and then we'll clip out what doesn't work. So
we'll have the editing
department will take care of that.
Okay.
Ready?
Hey guys, Al from New Jersey. Just wanted to let Cody know it's not that we don't like you. Just the wheelers here in New Jersey aren't big fans of blue ovals or forearms of justice.
Yes.
We just want to have fun and wheel. We're out here looking forward to Matt's visit with Jose. We've already got t-shirts in the works.
Oh, man.
So keep up the great work, guys. Thanks.
All right, fine, Al. Fine.
Beautiful.
You can have Matt and Jose. I'm not coming.
So that was Al for the people on Instagram.
Yeah,
He
Al
just
from
called
New Jersey.
in.
Yeah, Al from New Jersey called in to
Not a Ford fan.
not a Ford
or
fan.
a law enforcement fan.
Apparently not.
All right, let's see. It says Lewis from Indiana.
Hey guys, this is Lewis from Indiana. Also, hashtag or Jeep in the Life on Instagram. Just want to say I was listening to your show this week. Actually, I listened this morning as I'm heading out to the trail, going down to Blue Holler Off-Road Park. It's near Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. It's a lot of kind of a sandy, rocky trail, some big rocks, some caves you can drive into.
Oh, that'd
Head
be cool.
down there with our local Jeep club, the Derby City Jeep Club, and we're going to have a day of fun wheeling today. It's a little cool. 37 degrees currently at 8:30 in the morning or so. Well, actually 9 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, just want to reach out, let you guys know we're having fun out here in the cold. Wish we were out west, but hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
Have fun and keep on wheeling. Take care.
Right on.
Well, thank you,
Nice,
Jeep in the
thank
Life.
you.
37 degrees, man. You can have that. You can keep that nonsense.
But wheeling in a cave.
That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, that would be
Is
really
that
cool.
cool?
That would be really cool.
See
I mean,
Batman in there? No?
If you're lucky.
That would be awesome.
But I mean, I don't like wheeling at night because my lights suck. You know, I can't imagine being in a cave. It's probably like...
Yeah, we definitely need to step up our light game
For sure.
After doing that wheeling at Hammers, like when I was in the lead with the stock Ranger lights, like
Well, the wake-up call was when we did Cleghorn that night.
yes,
I was like, oh, damn, we can't see anything.
a damn thing. Well, we did that trail. Matt was leading, and I made that wide turn and took that bush all along the side of the
just
truck.
drug it
Dude,
down.
I didn't even see it. Like
Yep.
it wasn't even all the way
That
down
was
the side
day
of the truck.
one of ownership.
Yes. Yeah.
Or day 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
So, look, it looks like we got another one.
The good news is the Ford kept going.
It
It
did.
passed its first test, the first trial.
It did. So this is a long one. So this is we'll see what happens here.
Hey guys, it's Lewis, Indiana again. Hashtag deep in the life. Had a successful day out on the trails. Got to the park a little bit later than we'd expected to, around 10:30 or so. But drove out, hit the trails, went up into a cave. Like, the floor of the cave is all sand. It's really deep, thick sand now. And there's a couple of big rocky areas nearby. Got some pics and video that I'll put up. I'll try and tag you guys and see it. See them talk.
Okay,
Sounds like he's still driving
sounds
in
like
the
he's
cave.
still in the cave. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is he called us to let us know he was going wheeling, and then called us to let us know he survived. So that, I mean,
That's
I'm
good. That's a
happy
win.
about. That's a win.
Because now we don't have to worry about sending out help or anything, right? So, okay, so you made it out.
He made.
I don't know when he sent that message.
That message was from January 25th.
Okay.
Well, we haven't checked
he's
voicemails.
okay.
Like I've been saving the voicemails. Like, we'll do a voicemail show. We'll do a voicemail show. We've had so much stuff going on the last month that we
Yeah.
haven't. So, well, Jeep in the Life. I'm glad you made it out of the cave. We will. We'll look.
Well,
for
it's been so long. Maybe he got stuck in another
He's
cave.
in another cave.
So, let's see.
All right. Let's see what the next one is.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Aline. Just sitting here having some lunch at Pollo Loco and thinking to myself, why hasn't anybody came up with the idea of having a carne asada restaurant,
Oh.
just like Pollo Loco? There's nothing else but chicken. We have something that's nothing else but carne asada. What do you guys think?
Ilium, I think you're. So what if
He's onto something.
Yeah. What if we calls it Crazy Carney?
That's pretty good, dude.
Crazy Carney.
That's pretty good for on the spot.
Right there. Instead of Pollo
Carney.
Loco.
Or Mad Cow.
Oh, the mad cow.
I'm gonna go. Hey, what are you guys doing after work? Let's go grab some Mad Cow.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I'd eat both.
Oh, I know. I know that you would. Ilium, let's get some napkins and pencil some stuff out and see what we can do. That'd be a good one. Here's our buddy Dave from Oregon who left us a long message here.
Hey, Trail Chasers, it's Dave from Oregon. I got to be honest with you, I'm kind of bummed out. I feel like we have a one-sided relationship. The voicemail says you can't take the call right now, which makes me think every time that the next time I call, you might pick up, and you never do. So, I'm putting a lot into this relationship, but I'm not getting a whole lot back from you.
Real quick, Dave, get used to that. Like we're giving all that we can, man.
Hey, it's awesome you got the new Ranger. I was hoping that you'd pick up. We could talk about it and share stories about them, even though it's brand new. It's also awesome you got that Stage 5 kit. And I was just listening to the giant long episode that you guys just put out about it. And, you mentioned that your success, you wouldn't have it if it wasn't for the listeners. And, I'm a long-time listener.
Wait a minute. Where do you think this is going?
Okay. All
At
right.
least a sticker, maybe.
Dave's looking for a Stage 5 kit. I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say at the very least, like a shirt and a hat. But I think he probably already has that stuff.
He's like, I don't even want a Stage 5. Just give me a Stage 2.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see where Dave's going with that.
And, I'm just wondering, maybe one of the listeners should have got the Stage 5 kit.
Oh.
Because then we really me. At
least he's being honest.
About paying it back. Just a thought. Anyway, looking forward to hearing more about how that Ranger performs off-road and what you think of it. And I can't agree more that little four-banger is awesome when you get into it. It's pretty impressive. Also, I know last time I had to go because I was getting my new internet installed. BIOS is installed. It's Frontier. It's working great. And get ready to beat this. It's not those fools Xfinity who keep jacking the price up and screwing around with terrible customer service and don't want to keep you as a customer by giving you any kind of deals on it after you've been with them for 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
I think Dave has some feelings about Xfinity.
I would like to just direct David to my Twitter feed if you wanted to just lay down a layer of hatred. That's what my Twitter feed is for.
The anger feed.
What's your Twitter handle?
I don't know. It's somewhere. It's on the interwebs. I forget what it is. It was
Matt at Trail Chasers.
Yeah,
or
Matt at Trail Chasers.
Or was it Trail Chaser Matt?
Trail Chaser Matt or something like that.
It's one of those two. Just look it up.
Okay, so you don't even know what your feed is.
Maybe that's why I'm not getting any hate.
And people are probably sending you all kinds of hate tweets,
dude.
but you're just not seeing any of them because you don't pay attention to anything that you're supposed to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue against that. It sounds logical to me.
Anyway, awesome show. Just put my Trail Chaser sticker on the back of the Ranger. So I'm going to get out there and hit the trails and take some photos and throw the sticker in there. I'll send you some shots of what I get into out here in Oregon. Keep it up. Love you guys. Not like that way, but love the show. You guys are okay.
I'm good with the other way, Dave.
I'm
good with that, dude. I'm a snuggler. I am a snuggler.
That's true. You do snuggle. I was just like, he said, I'm going to put that Trail Chaser sticker on the Ranger. And now I'm like, oh man, that's like 2 Rangers that have,
yes.
Yes. Not sure if that's a positive thing.
I'm going to try to get a third one. I'm going to try to get someone that just may be losing their vehicle due to an accident to buy a Ranger instead. Oh, he won't though.
No,
he won't. All right, we got another one from Lewis in Indiana.
Hey guys, this is Lewis in Indiana.
Real quick, I bet this is a long drive home.
Wait, I hope it's love advice.
What do you guys think?
On Instagram, and just wrapping up listening to Thursday's show, and wanted to give you all a call and just say congratulations on the new sponsor, or newest sponsor. My apologies. And I hope everything works out great with Icon. They make some amazing lift kits and other accessories. So, hope you guys have an awesome time out at King of the Hammers. With myself and my wife, that's Sandwich Lady on Instagram. Really.
Oh, that's his wife, Sandwich Lady on Instagram. She's always liking our stuff, and I love her handle is Sandwich Lady, SAMMICH, Sandwich Lady. I love it. Hey, Sandwich Lady, love it.
Really wish we could be out there. Unfortunately, I'd have to take off about 3 weeks of work in order to make that work out. So, some days we'll get out there. Some year won't be this year. Probably not next year. Maybe the year after that. But
wow.
Hope you guys have a great time.
I don't even know if I'll be alive.
Hope you all make it home. Have a safe time.
Well, you know what we should do?
Who knows what's going to happen, dude? Coronavirus right now?
I know, yeah, true. We should one of these years
making plans for 2-3 years from now.
Well, he said like he'd have to take 3 weeks off, probably to drive out, but we should one year like rent a couple of like the big military personnel trooper carriers and just have a bunch of listeners fly into the Ontario airport, and we'll pick them up and wheel out to Hammers with them. And then we could just tool around.
Man, that sounds like a logistical nightmare. It sounds like
when so-and-so flight come in.
No, exactly. We're just sitting there for a day and a half waiting for people to show up, and then making everybody else, like the first ones that arrive, sit with us and wait for the rest.
The shuttle.
Welcome to California. We're going to sit in traffic for 3 hours.
The personnel carrier leaves the airport terminal at X time. If you're not on it, get an Uber.
Jeez, man. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to California.
Thanks for listening.
Wow. So we've got another long voicemail from Dave from Oregon.
Hey guys, it's Dave from Oregon. Just heading back home from the Tillamook Forest where I took my truck.
Wait, Tillamook isn't that cheese? Tillamook cheese?
It is.
I like Tillamook cheese.
I do.
I put the trail stickers decal on the rig yesterday, and I thought, well, shit, it just got real, so I better go take it out. Pretty impressed with the Ranger off-road. I didn't do any crazy trails or anything like that. Mostly fire roads and fire breaks and forest roads and that kind of stuff. But the Tillamook Forest...
Those are recommended.
My wife's below my phone. The Tillamook Forest is home to a bunch of mild to wild off-road trails, and I kind of didn't want to make the cardinal mistake of going wheeling alone, so I tried to stick to the fire roads, although I did kind of F up a little bit and go on a trail that I was following a track I'd done before that I knew was tame but had some interesting stuff, and didn't realize that when on that track I took the trail on my Jeep when I had it. And so this time of year out here, it rains a lot. The forest was like there were waterfalls everywhere, and the rivers were just rushing. It was pretty crazy. This road that I went down was narrow, Jeep trail, shelf road, and it was pretty sketchy.
Say it.
Kind of halfway through it, realized I screwed up and shouldn't have gone down there, but I had aired down my...
What happened?
Nope.
What happened? Is he still there?
Nope. He's not going to get
leave
stuck.
the truck there.
He's not going to get stuck.
And down to about 16 PSI, and they did really, really well with four-wheel drive low and locking the rear axle in. A little bit of sideways sliding, which wasn't too fun, considering it was a shelf road, but they did really well. The FX4 suspension... wasn't terrible. We don't have like a lot of high speed roads out here. Probably not like what you have down in California. We have a lot of washboardy roads, and it flew across those washboards pretty smooth, especially when I aired down. Tried out the trail control, which is an off-road cruise control. That was pretty awesome. You can set it from 1 mile an hour all the way up to 20, and whether you're going uphill or downhill, it keeps that same speed.
Yeah, there's like an off-road cruise control on the truck, and I haven't tried to use it yet. I don't know.
An off-road cruise control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unlike the Toyota Tacoma I had, it doesn't sound like there's a wrench in the transmission and everything's going to fall apart. It was pretty quiet.
I think this is like your
and did a great job. So, kind of my first...
What else is he? He's had everything you've had.
Off-road experience. The Ranger did great. Look forward to kind of, again, hear more about what you guys do. And just thought I'd report in.
Thank you for reporting in, Dave. I love to hear that the Ranger is doing great.
No,
How much is Cody paying you?
Nothing.
Number one,
Look,
yeah, exactly.
Look, he's not calling me, inviting me to his house like your buddy over there in New Jersey.
Al?
Like, yes.
That's
It's
true.
not just me. It's me and Matt.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we're a package.
Yeah. If you want me, you're going to have to bring him.
Vice versa. And, dude, when you're telling a story and you're building it like there's a lot of rain falling down, and let me tell you, I made a mistake of going up. You're building to an obvious, like, so it washed out and I wrecked it and went down a cliff.
I was hoping
and
you'd
it's
be like,
still
that
there.
piece of shit Ford.
You were getting all excited.
Oh, I had a big grin on my face. I was like, here it comes. Oh, man.
Yeah, no,
Nothing.
it did great.
It made it.
It did great.
And
And there's a whole nother one from Dave.
oh, man.
So between Dave and
think he's a co-host
and
now.
Lewis, yeah, we're gonna have to.
He's got more in this show than Jose does right now.
Between Dave and Lewis, we got to book them time on the
And
show.
Al, there's like a rotating guest host.
Well, we made the mistake of giving out the right phone number now.
Hey, Trail Chasers, it's Dave from Oregon. Just got done listening to the latest episode, and I know you guys are probably on your way to Hammertown or already there. Shit, Matt might already be dead by now. Anyway, wanted to talk to you about the GPS. I use Gaia, have used Gaia for a while, and they have a beta version out now that you can get on the beta list and start testing. That works with CarPlay, and I used that on my last off-road trip. Used it to put a track down and also to follow a route that I had pre-planned, and it worked pretty good. It's not without flaws, but I
think it's a good start to get that on a bigger screen, so you don't have to worry about mounting your phone or trying to squint it at the screen. The other thing I'd like you to do, if you can, is report back what kind of range and gas mileage you got on your trip down there with the Ranger now lifted and bigger tires. That's kind of something I was wondering with mine.
I'm like it. My neighbors and I were just having a conversation. I'm at like somewhere between 13 and 14 miles per gallon.
Wow.
Only because I still drive it like it's a race car. Like I've been driving the crap out. I need to actually calm down, cruise. I mean,
no.
We didn't talk about it. When on my way to Arizona, I got a ticket for doing 98.
Oh my God.
Was it a fix-it ticket because you're driving a Ford?
No, so I was cruising at like 80, like you know Rice Road, like you get off a desert center. For those of you that don't know, in Southern California,
I don't know.
So if you get off the 10 freeway, the main freeway, and then there's this basically two lane road that goes for another 2 hours. Like it's one of those up and down kind of like highways, and it's got
kind of like the 395.
Yeah, very little turns, and so you get cruising on there at 80 miles an hour, or whatever, and then you come across a line of trucks or whatever. So I come up on this, and you know what? Kudos to Tammy. She didn't panic about any of this. She was great the whole time. I was trying to get out there quick.
Think about that. You're just driving. You had to give her kudos for not flipping out on you for driving like a busted ass.
I'm a jackass. So I came up behind this car carrier, that had a bunch of cars on it, and I checked my mirror. There was nobody behind me. There was nobody. I looked up. I went around it and just put my foot into it, and that Ford jumps up real quick when that turbo kicks in, and it took off, and there was a car coming this direction, but it was way out there. No worries. I pass the truck. I get back into the lane, and as soon as I get back in the lane, I realize it was CHP. And so this guy passes me and hooks a U-turn hard and ran into the dirt embankment trying to get back around to catch me.
Well, did you do it on like a double yellow?
No, it wasn't an illegal pass. I was just doing 98. Like,
but how did he know you're doing
because
that?
they've got
tell.
radar coming this way.
Yeah, it's called math.
Yeah.
Like if it says 180 and you subtract what you're doing, that's what they're doing.
So
sorry, Jose.
I don't think that's how it works. But
it is seriously.
That's actually how it works.
It's exactly how it works. So he gets up behind me, and Tammy's like, "Oh, great!" So he gets up behind me. I hit my flashers. Like, okay, I see you, dude. I didn't want to pull over right there because there wasn't a whole lot of room. So I was going to go a little bit farther, and then he lights up the sirens, and I'm like, dude, I see you. I pull over. He comes to the side of the road, and the side of the car, and he's like, "Did you know why I pulled you over?" I said, No. He said, "You were doing 98 when you passed that truck." And I went, "Really? Are you I don't even think this truck will do 98. It's only a 4-cylinder. Yes, sir, it will. License and registration. He was not into any of the sarcasm I had about my 4-cylinder truck. So, moral of the story is I drive like a jackass, and I don't know how many miles per gallon that truck will actually get.
Is this Arizona?
At that point, no, I was still in California.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Because Arizona, you don't have to, you just blow them off.
It's the Wild West.
Is a smaller 4-cylinder engine if to move the extra weight of everything, if the turbo has to spin up more, however the heck all that stuff works, if it sucks down more gas. Anyway, and no cheating. I know a lot of guys will add like a mile per gallon sort of buffer there to make it look better, but I just appreciate like a straight, honest opinion on how it rode down there on the highway and what kind of effect it had, because it seems like, for me, for a sort of daily driver, quote, overland, end quote, vehicle, it would be nice to get something that has really good road manners and comfort and doesn't.
Do you and Dave want to do just start your own Ford Ranger podcast?
Ranger.
Do you want me and Matt to step out? I mean,
I don't know.
The Trail Ranger podcast, brought to you by...
Go ahead. See how many people listen to that garbage. 2.
Cody and Diffie.
All 4 of you. All 4 of you.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to the next one. Let's see. Who's this?
What's up, Trail Chasers? This is Brad with Eck Mobility. Just driving.
Hey, what's up, Brad?
Oh, man. Traitor.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Matt is super pissed at you right now.
Traitor.
Super pissed because you got rid of your Frontier.
I figured I'd call and give you guys hell. So, Cody, I hope the Ford lasts more than 3 weeks. Prayers sent. Matt, don't hate me because I ditched the Frontier. It was just too small for the family. Jose, just keep being cool. Just
right.
keep up the FJ, and life will be good. So, you guys keep up the cool shit. Keep doing good stuff, and we love you. Prayers or happy thoughts sent from Pensacola, Florida, not Tallahassee, because Tallahassee sucks. But keep on Pensacola, download your show. So, rock on. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
All right.
Thanks,
all
Brad.
is forgiven,
thank you.
Brad.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, we've got one more. This is probably going to be the best one of the day.
Hey, this is a public service announcement for anybody that uses a cell phone. The speaker functionality is not for public use. No one wants to listen to the conversation with your boy about why your credit card's not working while you're in line at the gas station. The rest of us want to buy our stuff and move on with our day. If you're sitting at a public bench, no one wants to hear about your lab results. So, for Pete's sake, please, put the phone to your ear like a normal person and take us off speaker because we don't want to hear about your life. Thank you.
So that happened.
That's every day.
Dude,
Come on, everybody.
I'm in a hurry. I'm trying to get gas and get to a job meeting, and I'm like running around. And there's this dude, this big dude, standing at the gas station, at the counter of the gas. I just went in to buy something to drink, and he's standing there at the gas station. He's got his cell phone in his hand, holding it down at his waist. You can hear the conversation from the other guy, and he's like, yeah, no, my credit card just got declined. Let's try it again and see what happens. He's laughing. And then the other guy's like, you ain't got no money. He's like, yeah, I know, but they don't know that. Let's try again. And then the lady behind the counter is looking at me, and I'm like, I just want to buy a soda. Like, it was the most annoying thing. Like, God, take the phone off. Why? Why?
Excuse me, sir. Can I make my purchase? I have money.
Yeah.
One question. What were we doing on a bench? You said
no. I'm just saying. I've seen it in park benches. People walking around the mall. Today, I was at another job site in the hospital lobby. This is a medical building lobby, and there's a lady sitting there at the bench next to the stairs with her phone on speaker, having a conversation with somebody. I didn't know what she was saying because it was all in Spanish, but what if she's discussing lab results?
You should have called me. Like, hey, what did she say?
Yeah, what did she say? Because it's just the most annoying
She's probably
thing
talking
in the world.
about the spread of coronavirus,
Yes.
and that could have been valuable information.
I don't understand why people do that.
What's funny to me is when you're on the freeway and people have their phone on speaker, and that's supposed to make it okay.
Hands free, yeah.
It's hands free. Yeah. I'm not holding it up to my ear.
It's brain free.
Yeah.
Or have you seen those people that will? I used to be related to somebody that would hold the phone to their ear to listen, and then hold the phone to their mouth to talk, and then try to hold their phone back to their ear to listen, and they missed the last piece of the conversation.
Oh,
wait, what was that? Back and forth. I'm like, oh man, yeah. Anyways, I was super frustrated that day. I was having a tough day, and
Can I transition since we're talking about genius level intellect?
Yes.
We could go right into
the next point of topic.
Okay, so this is called a segue. Speaking of idiots,
Jose,
when we were coming home from Hammers, we were going down the 247 through. That's not Landers. It's
yeah.
Is it Landers?
I think so.
The bottom, the back way,
backside of Big Bear.
Okay. It'll come to me, the city I'm thinking of. But they had that 247 cafe, and I saw. I think I got on the radio like, oh man, there's the Rocket. This guy who I think he lived in Barstow or Victorville,
Apple Valley.
Same.
Apple Valley, Victorville area.
Same, right? That's the three of them. Like, oh, that's a triangular thing, right? You just drew a triangle right there in the high desert. And this guy was a flat earther. So this might be controversial, but the world is not flat. It is round. I trust me if you doubt it. But this guy was he built that rocket so he could try and launch himself far enough into the atmosphere to see if it was flat or round. So, wow, that's crazy. This dude, and I was excited because I saw...
Of course you were.
Yes. Well, I get excited. And I saw an article, I want to say like in the Washington Post or in a national magazine newspaper.
I think it was the Post, the link that you sent.
Well, that was the Post.
Yeah.
That was the Post. But this was probably 6 months ago about this guy. He was going to do this out in, the middle of nowhere, east of Barstow there. And he was shut down. Like the FAA would not allow him to do it. Like, dude, you just got your ass saved by the federal government. You should be thankful because you were going to blast yourself off in a homemade rocket to try and prove the world is flat. Like,
real quick. Did you see, speaking of the homemade rocket, at one point in an article I read, he bought the rocket, the cone of the rocket off of eBay. And they weren't sure what the cone was made for in the first place.
Oh my god!
And the last
think about that.
The last time he was going to do a launch, it got canceled because the $350 boiler he bought from eBay couldn't heat up the water enough to make steam.
Wow,
that's the level
steam
of
powered.
Yes, yes.
Oh, so it's basically exactly.
It's an 1820s steam powered engine is what I mean. It's
exactly. So I'm thinking, God, what this guy is it's insane to me. How far with a steam rocket do you think like altitude you're going to get? Like, I don't know.
Even if you could boil the water fast enough, how much water would you need to get?
This is why NASA gets paid. Those scientists go to college for like 20 years.
I'm no rocket scientist, but I can tell you that this is a bad idea.
Exactly. Dude, come on, man. Think about it. Again, what do you think? Maybe 5,000 or 6,000 feet? Dude, for $500, you can get in a 747. It goes up 7 times higher than that, and you can at least safely, pick your window seat and look from there. Whether you can kind of see the curvature from up there. But the point is,
they're in on it.
The pilots are in on it, and you're not really looking out the window. Those are LCD screens. Those are LCD screens that are projecting what they want you to see.
The point being, like, there's so many different ways. I mean, you've seen footage of people putting GoPros or their cell phones and a GoPro on a weather balloon.
Yeah.
And then tracking it down because the cell phone has the GPS on it. You can go find it. And you can see pretty much almost the whole damn planet.
Dude, Japan has that satellite that's live streaming.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to do it, you don't trust anything live, any video that you haven't created yourself. If you take a GoPro and a cell phone and you do that, that is your evidence. Nobody's tainted it. Nobody's grabbed it. Unless you think somebody stuffed the video on there before you found your stuff. So I don't know. It's the point to fast forward to the conclusion. He actually got out there this past weekend and launched himself. He shockingly got up pretty high, It
wasn't that high, dude.
It was not that high.
Whoa. High enough without a parachute, right?
Well, because as he launched, the parachute got caught on the launch ramp.
Yes, and came ripping off.
Which I would think that'd be the first thing you'd want to make sure you had secured.
Not this guy. So, whatever. He was airborne for 30 seconds?
No way, dude. No way.
Dude, when he hit the ground, it was splat for him, for sure.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, he
came down hitting the ground at a couple 100 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, there is video of this guy.
Yes.
So the part that I struggle with is how many people are sitting around this launch,
like
quote unquote
him,
launch,
dude.
going like, "Hey man, this is going to be awesome.
Like, you're going to make it."
Yeah. Like as I was in the air, if I was that guy in the rocket in the air, I would have cursed the two of you the entire time. Like, why did you let me do this? But there's a film crew. There's people taking pictures. There's everybody around this guy going, "This is a great idea. Thumbs up, buddy. Launch."
Oh yeah. There's a whole crew. Like you know what? They're probably man, hopefully this guy comes back with evidence. They're confused and they're just thankful it's not them that are doing it, you know? Like, woo, you're doing a great job there, Bob. Jump in that rocket. Please send, hey, can you stream it just so that we get the video for sure, you know? Like,
because they were filming like I said, I read that they were filming it's not Discovery Channel,
like a real reality
TV
kind of
show. Documentary.
Yeah.
So he goes up. And as soon as he takes off, you see the parachute I was flounder. I'm like, well, that's not good. He goes over this guy, and then he doesn't get very far, and then he just turns and comes down, and he
didn't turn. That's called gravity.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the rocket itself turned, and he's several thousand feet away now at this point, coming down, nosedive, head first. Imagine being in that seat, looking out the window of that, going like, this is not going to end well.
You know what? Judging from this guy, this guy's judgment, I don't think that thing had any windows either. You know, like, hey, I went up there to go look at the curvature of the flat Earth, and I forgot to put windows in. Darn it!
I think the guy was looking for a way out, and instead of just offing himself, he felt guilty about it. He decided to launch himself in a rocket. Yes.
Wow.
Flipped the switch just in
explanation.
a dramatic fashion.
He did. He did that indeed. He lawn darted himself out in somewhere east of Barstow. So that happened this weekend. And, again, I was excited because 3 weeks ago I saw the rocket sitting on the side of the road. Man, that's just insane. It's insane that
all the way around. Yeah, it's a bad idea from the get-go. I think his first miscalculation was the Earth is flat. I'm going to prove it.
There's got to be that's the last thing I would think of doing is putting myself in a homemade rocket. Like,
and I know I can build some stuff. I still wouldn't do it.
Exactly. I wouldn't trust anything that we built to do anything.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine we all build a rocket and at the end of it we're like, who's gonna go? Ready?
We're
Rochambeau for it.
Yeah.
That's, all the way around. Bad idea. So the moral of the story here, kids, is don't build a rocket and launch yourself into space. It's not going to go well.
At least get to space, get all the way there and then figure out how to get down.
Yeah, figure out how you're going to get back.
Well, like you had made the point, use a GoPro or something. What about how high can you go in a balloon with one of those scuba masks on? Remember the Red Bull? No, I'm not even joking. Remember the Red Bull guy that did that?
Crazy.
The Red Bull guy
from like space, right?
Yeah,
he dropped in from like
there's proven technology. You get an air balloon, put on a scuba suit. And how high I guarantee he would have gotten higher than he did in that stupid rocket.
I think so, yeah.
Well, obviously, they don't have very good Wi-Fi or internet in Barstow or the high desert because he wasn't able to Google, how do I get high altitude? Homemade rocket, or I want to verify the curvature of the Earth ideas. That would have come up, I would think. Hot air balloon. Snorkel? Did you say a snorkel tank? Scuba gear.
Jose knows what I'm talking about. There was a guy that was sponsored by Red Bull. They got in a hot air balloon.
He had a space suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a
yes, he
suit.
did have a pressure suit. I'm saying that he could have used some form of that technology that's available.
He also had Red Bull behind them, so millions of dollars.
You can go get a scuba suit at the
REI.
Beach. Yes, at the beach. Rent one at the beach. And
the guy built a rocket. You would think he could afford a scuba suit.
Yeah, he doesn't have to rent
a wetsuit. Oh man!
Well, I don't know.
That would have been great.
He bought built the rocket for $500. I mean,
think of the balloon he could have made for that same money.
Yes,
how ridiculous that would have been, and it still would have exploded as soon as he tried to light it or something.
I'm telling you, the guy wanted out. He wanted it. He wanted to pull the plug.
Yeah, he got it. He got it out.
So do we have any reviews on iTunes that we haven't looked at yet?
We have one review.
Okay, I'll let you read that because I don't have an iDevice.
Okay, 1 second. This is a review from Fire Surf PNW, which I'm going to assume is Pacific Northwest. No?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a 5-star rating.
Nice, read it.
I legitimately enjoy each new episode, the banter back and forth, and the real down-to-earth conversation about your adventures. I find myself laughing inside quite often, as well as laughing out loud and getting funny looks when I'm listening with headphones on. Keep up the great work and look forward to more.
Well, thank you very much for that, and I'm sure you get a lot of funny looks because
Hey, let's not. He gave us a 5-star.
No, I'm
not
saying
being mean.
I'm saying that we say some stupid stuff. And
we do,
and people. I think I've had people look at me funny when I'm laughing at something in my earphones.
People look at me funny.
Yeah,
just
true. Very true.
in general.
Very true. Okay, well, we got through a bunch of voicemails. I appreciate you guys sending those voicemails in. Emails. We did. Hold on a second. Pause.
Just a heads up. We do appreciate any review on iTunes. 5-star.
Yep.
Please and thank you.
So, damn it, I'm going to have to edit this part too. So, we did get some voicemails too, and I wanted to...
Yeah, we just listened to them.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Emails.
Oh, okay.
Next time, we'll look at emails because I can't find them right now. I know we had a couple emails. We got a couple good messages on social media stuff, and we'll try to get that stuff set up. Coming up, we've got some conversations to have internally as a team about what we're going to be doing in the next couple months. We do have the Costa Mesa event coming up. For anybody that is...
Are we back on? This is part of the show now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're back.
Oh, we have to pay attention again?
Yes, we're back up. So, this weekend, as you're hearing this, so this is coming out on February 26th of 2020. Tierra del Sol is happening this weekend.
Is that this weekend?
What's going on with that?
There's no plan right now. We as a group, we don't have a plan.
Friday night. You guys in for tomorrow morning?
Yeah. Well, I know.
Who wants to go?
I know our buddy Rob Flores is going. I don't know if I will have a day this weekend. I mean, best case scenario would be able to do a day. I would be able to do a day run maybe on Saturday. I got to confirm some stuff. The following weekend, though, March 7th and 8th, is the Adventure Expo at Costa Mesa. We will be there both days. Matt's looking at me funny. I will be there both days. I think Jose's going to be there both days. We're not sure if Matt's going to be there at all.
I signed up for some classes related to work. I'm not sure if that's... One of them drags into Saturday, so
okay.
But I don't know if it's that Saturday or not.
So March 7th and 8th, we're going to be with the Icon team at the Adventure Expo. The following weekend, March 14th, Saturday, Syndicate Off-Road is doing a meet and greet at their shop in San Bernardino, and I believe they're going to debut one or two of their trailers. So if you guys are available, check that out. And then I saw that there's a 4-wheeler pop-up campers thing in Rancho Cucamonga, like an open house on the 21st and 22nd. I'm super interested in just going to check that out. Just go see.
We can do a drive-by real quick.
Cruise by and check that out. So those are...
That's like my neighborhood.
That is definitely your hood. So those are things coming up. I'm really excited about the 4-Wheeler Adventure Expo. We're going to have some meetings with Jeremy at Icon to find out exactly what we're going to need to be doing there and for what time frames and all that stuff. But ultimately, we will be there.
There was some talk about bikinis or something, right?
I do not recall that.
Oh, that was only sent to me.
Yes, maybe you got the bikini invite. I don't know that that's something anybody wants me to participate in. Come out and see Matt and Jose in their bikinis washing cars. Like
it's going to be an adventure.
No. But
cover your eyes.
But yeah, but I think it's going to be cool. More and more people you see are going to be at this event, and you're talking to people.
Are we still talking about the Rancho Cucamonga event?
No, now we're back to the Expo, Adventure Expo.
Okay.
That Adventure Expo is going to be big. I think it's going to be quite a few people are attending, and I think it's going to be.
It's got a lot of like backing.
Yeah, a lot of backing. Icon's going to be there. We'll be there. It looks like there's going to be a pretty good following. Like, I mean, not following, but attendance. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be cool. So we're looking forward to that. Okay. Well, I am. That's all I have. You guys have anything else for today?
God, that was it. Are we all caught up on everything now?
Oh, the Land Cruiser's all right.
Oh, that's right.
dude.
Let's talk about that. Yes. So the backstory is Jose's Land Cruiser took a crap on him after he got the gears done, and he had to drive the Tacoma out to King of Hammers. He came back. We thought it was covered. They said they couldn't find anything wrong with it. You were pissed off and about to like get super frustrated because it was making noise, and then
took it back to the shop. They said they couldn't replicate it, so I ended up fixing it myself. I found out what the issue was.
So what was the issue?
So on Toyota, that Land Cruiser axles, there's the steering knuckle on both sides.
Is that like moose knuckle?
Similar. It's very similar.
Okay. It is. Okay. Go. Edit that.
We're live,
No.
dude.
No. Moose knuckle is staying in.
Okay. You pointed at me like you're punishing me.
Yeah, it's like,
Go ahead.
it's staying in. No, so it has steering knuckles where the CV joints go in, where the axles, right? It's supposed to be full of grease. And yeah, moose knuckle. The shop I took it to, I don't think they were aware of that. And
Well, so we talked about this a little bit. Right?
Wait.
They had to take that apart.
yeah, they had to take everything apart. They must have seen the grease when they took it apart.
Right, because it was super clean when you took a picture.
Yeah,
of
it looked like
had
they
wiped
cleaned-
it.
like they
How'd
cleaned
this
it.
grease get in here?
Yeah, did they seriously like
Look at
clean
this
it?
asshole, dirty ass axles.
We're gonna do this guy a favor and clean all
He's
the
gonna be
grease
so
off.
happy when he gets this.
This guy came in just in time. I'm gonna clean all this rotten grease out of here.
So did you call them
Dude, I took the truck back.
after you fixed it? No, I'm saying, did you call them to tell them what you found?
No.
I would. I would.
I don't have time to deal with all that crap, dude.
Oh no!
No, at the very least, I would call and say, "Look,
you're a bit negligent if you don't."
Not that you're asking for anything, because f those guys, f those guys, and it's the last vehicle we take to them.
But it's like, well, bringing the truck. It's gonna be like bringing the truck and see. Let us check it out again. I don't have time to be dropping off the truck.
I already lubed it up, dude.
Yeah, so
I did your job.
Casey said, found the problem. You need grease in your moose knuckle.
So I had to replace a spindle, right, where the that was a couple $100 because the axle
but
was.
You shouldn't have to replace that.
No, I get it, but I don't have time to be taking back my truck back and forth, dude.
No,
I would make a phone call.
Yeah,
a sternly worded email.
So I fixed that issue, but I'm like, well, if they left this side dry, they left the other side dry.
And you can't have dry moose knuckle.
Yeah, you can't have dry moose knuckles. That's not good.
Moose, none of them knuckles.
Moose caboose knuckle.
So this past weekend, I took the driver's side apart, and sure as shit, fucking dry.
Oh my god,
dude!
I had to get at least one in, right?
God,
that's true.
Learn it.
It's been like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been like 2 hours.
Not one F-bomb. I was actually getting worried.
I've learned I have a whole on my notes as I'm taking notes. I have a whole separate segment for the edits, and I have a pen out so that I can get ready to edit yours.
But yeah, it was completely dry. But now it's all sorted out now. It's good.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. That
100% agree, dude.
They didn't. First of all,
should we say who it was?
No, we're not going to. We're not going to do that.
What's funny, dude, is that when all this was happening, when I was, where was I? I was somewhere, and I wrote out a long ass Instagram post. I posted a picture of like what I showed you guys about the dry.
Yeah.
I was about to I had tagged that shop and I just stated facts. I wasn't like throwing shade at that. I just stated what happened, my experience was. And I was about to hit publish, but I was just like, it doesn't feel right, dude.
No, I honestly, I think if he, and this is entirely up to him.
What if
he has a follow-up conversation with them and says, look, these are the facts. This is what happened. This is what I found. This is what I had to fix. And they went, too bad, bro, not my problem. Then maybe we have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
But we give them if he wants to pursue it, we give them the opportunity to respond.
I think that kind of negligence, that's negligent. And we talked 100%. About it before. We knew, you had to have seen that or wiped. It's obvious. the work that was done and them pulling those parts apart to not put it back and realize, I think this needs to be lubricated, would you want anybody going to that shop? If that's kind of shocking, that this shop, a reputable shop, right?
Big name. Yep.
To do something like that is, they did the work. They did the faulty work.
Yeah.
So if word gets out because of negligence, that's their problem.
But,
so I agree with you. I'm sorry. I'm more pissed off about it than
I've gone through my roller coaster.
I guess my point is,
guess who's not taking his truck there?
Yeah.
Ever.
I guess my point is,
Cody.
Yeah.
No, Cody might need to. I mean, he's driving a Ford.
I still think that there's a need for a follow-up conversation from Jose to give them the opportunity to rectify the situation. If they haven't been given the opportunity to rectify
you're out a couple $100 for a spindle. That's the least. You know, and you didn't get to take your rig to Hammer.
Right.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean,
no, again, and I'm not, it's up to you, Jose.
I'm not going to follow because I've tried already. Like, dude, I had to take work off early, like a few days. If you want
to drop it, then
I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. It's fixed. It's fine. It's not fine, but
I'm ready to burn the world to the ashes.
Well, yeah, it's
frustrating, right? Because you expect you pay a lot of money for a certain service.
Yeah.
And when you pay all that money and you still,
I expect you to know how to put the wheels back on the vehicle,
and then you still got to wrench on it yourself. Like it's
no, I agree. And it's if you want to mention it, it's up to you. If you want to say, who it is.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
So speaking of putting wheels back on the vehicle, when we were driving out to Arizona, we're on the 10 freeway, and there's an F-150 on an off ramp, and his left rear tire is missing. It's gone. And you could see the dust of
found on road dead.
You could see the dust from him dragging it up the off ramp, like it just happened, right?
Ooh.
And so we're going down the freeway. All of a sudden, people are locking up brakes.
Oh yeah.
And there's this tire coming all the way across the freeway, hits the center, and people think, okay, it's done. They try to take off. The tire hits the center divider, starts rolling back into traffic. So I kind of punch it and get out in front of it, and I stopped and knocked the tire down onto its side so it would stop rolling. Because those are the videos you see of a tire bouncing onto oncoming traffic.
That can kill someone.
I know. Yeah. That's why I did. I stopped, pushed the thing over, and so at least they could find it on the side of the road.
What'd you say? F you, tire.
No, I just pushed it over. Oh, and I saw freaking hit and run today.
You saved lives on the freeway that day.
Maybe. I saw a hit and run today.
He was just covering for another Ford falling apart.
Yeah, I felt bad for my brother. So I'm on the 10 freeway heading to LA for a job, and right next to me, and I'm in fast track, and right next to me there was this black Lexus, and in front of him was like a Buick SUV, and I see it happening. Like she starts to slow down, and the guy in the Lexus is not slowing down. I'm like, this is not going to end well, and boom, he rear ends her. Boom, hits her. 25, 30 miles an hour. Like
pretty significant.
Well, it wasn't bad. Like his front bumper popped out of the clips.
Yeah.
And it moved her. And so I'm in the lane next to them. So I kind of stop thinking, okay, they're going to need to get over.
Yeah.
He punches it and takes off across all the lanes of traffic in LA, in traffic. So I'm instantly I read the license plate and I'm saying the license plate over and over and over and over and over. Yeah. And so I'm
Trail Chaser mad.
I'm saying I hit the record button on my phone and I record a voice note, and I pulled over to the side of the road because by that time he hit the first exit he could. It was right there and he's gone. And she pulls over and I see her parked. So I backed up to where she was.
And you hit her.
That would have been funny. I backed up to where she was and got out and, are you okay? I said, here's the license plate I found. So I don't know. She hasn't called. I gave her my phone number. I don't know what happened, but come on, man. He bumped into this lady and then hit and run and took off. LA, dude.
That's LA, exactly. Who knows? There's so many cars on the road. You don't know whether half of them have insurance or not. That happened to my brother too. My brother bought his first car. Like he was 18 years old.
Yeah.
You know where you buy and finance it was used, but you finance your own vehicle.
Yeah, but that's like your first like
right?
thing.
Your first thing you've ever really bought, your first big purchase. And he was super excited. He comes over to my house. Check out. It was like a Sebring, a Chrysler Sebring. No. Check it out. Oh, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm proud of you. Good job. That's what hard work, whatever. On the way home from my house. So literally he went from the dealership to my house, started driving home, which is like 2 miles away from my place. And he got T-boned. Some truck backed out. Oh. It was like a gardening truck or something, and just totaled it.
What are you trying to say?
The guy didn't have insurance, but luckily, they pretty much make you buy the gap coverage for at least the first month or whatever.
Yep.
So he was covered, but literally, he probably put 10 miles on that car.
That sucks.
Yeah. So any hoot.
But
I almost T-boned a guy yesterday. Matter of fact,
what?
Or I'm sorry, on Friday coming home.
Trucks or.
This is truck related. So this really, I wanted to like turn around and run this guy down, but I'd probably get my ass kicked. So you're coming up to a light. The light is red. You're probably a quarter mile from it, and like you're kind of trying to time the light. And in the left lane, there were 2 cars. The right lane, I moved over into the right lane, which was open, and sure enough, timed it perfect. Light turns green. There was 2 cars in the intersection, waiting to finish their left-hand turns. So I slowed up a little bit. Again, timed it perfect. They got out of the way, and it was like 1001, 1002, like almost a 3 count. So the light had been red for that direction
so you gave enough
at
time.
least 3 seconds. And then a guy comes whipping through.
No.
Yeah, like a follow-up, trying to, just make the light. And I locked up, and I shot lasers from my eyes at this guy, like, you MFer, I'll kill you. I almost literally killed you, but now I feel like I want to kill you. And then we catch eyes as he's turning around, and he like looks at me again, and then starts mad dogging me. Like, oh, dude.
The audacity.
Yeah. Oh. But then it was Friday, so I just kept driving. I'm going to go home and drink a few beers.
I'll go home and get out of here. Yeah, I've been driving into LA a lot lately, and it's been frustrating. But hopefully I don't see any more hit and runs. And I don't know what happened. There was very, very little damage to the back of hers. But this jackass took off.
So the live feed is wrapped up.
Live feed just ended because it stops you at an hour, and that's a good good opportunity for us to cut it. And so thanks everybody listening. Thanks to Travis from Outer Limit Supply for coming on and talk to us about his products and about safety and all that stuff. And we will catch up with you guys soon. Come out to Costa Mesa to see us March 7th and 8th. Bye.
I'm Presley, and thank you for listening. Thank you to Nexen Tire. Thank you to Icon. If you want to be on the show, call 951-394-DIRT. Thank you to Ryan Torino with all of the music.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Had it up, but
that's what she said.
Yeah. It's a common issue in my house.
Edit that.
Edit that.
All right. So